Hello and welcome to another day here at the Vainglory International Premier League. I'm Monte Cristo. Joining me once again is Valdez, and we are very fortunate to start off with a hell of a match in pQq versus Invincible Armada.
Oh yeah, it's only going to start there, and then we're going to go into another great match beyond up against Gangstars. These teams, they've all won their first matches of the round robin, so they're coming head-to-head tonight. And, a lot of people are saying they're the best in their group, and we're going to find out who's going to get that lead in the group.
Yeah, it's so exciting today because 5 out of the 6 teams playing won their first match. In every single match, it will be a team from the Worldwide Invitational going up against one of the Korean qualifier teams. Now, pQq, they've been around for a while now. They actually did beat Invincible Armada in a tournament, an East Asian tournament, all the way back in May and go on to win that event. So even though we didn't see them at the Worldwide Invitational, pQq just looking very strong.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. They call themselves the best amateur team, pQq. But they've defeated Invincible Armada before, and I think tonight they definitely have a great chance to do it once again. I mean, Invincible Armada was this team that kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, people knew who they were, but they didn't expect them to win the entire Invitational. And now, pQq's already gotten a win over them, where they are looking invincible nowadays. So we'll see what they'll be able to do tonight.
Yeah, and I'm especially excited to see pQq go up against some harder competition. They did really roll over Victorious last week, but Druid, their laner, is looking absolutely spectacular. Farm monster. And we're going to take a look at some of these matches that happened in the last week. Starting with Group A, the winners were Invincible Armada and pQq, that match that we will be seeing tonight.
Yeah, I think we're taking a look at Invincible Armada's win here. Giving a nice celebration.
And pQq, only 1 death on the entire team in that first match, so very dominating.
Yeah.
Taking a look at Group B, Beyond and Gangstars, our second match tonight. And that will be another 2 winners.
Gangstars, the big favorites from America, looking good. Up against Beyond, who put on a very nice showing as well.
And then finally, we do have Hunters versus Raid, or Hunters versus Hack tonight, actually. But taking a look at the winners from that, Raid taking the victory over Hack in that first game.
Yeah, making it look pretty easy as well. A lot of one-sided games so far, for sure. We've been having some very short days because of that, but I think tonight is going to be where the best competition comes in so far. So anyone who's tuning in now is very lucky.
Yeah, definitely. And just as a reminder, our prize pool is 80 million Korean won. That is about 80,000 US dollars with a whopping 40K to first place. So high stakes here at the VIPL, and it's just a lot of money, especially when there are only 3 players on a team.
Yeah.
So you don't have to divide that very much.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. These guys are going to have a lot of spare money to do whatever they want. A couple players saying they want to buy steaks. Other players going to give it to their wives, as we do have a wide range of players actually in this league, from married men down to younger guys and girls as well.
So taking a look at this again, remember that the top team from every group after the round robin stage will advance to the semifinals, and then the second place teams in every group will play for that last semifinal spot. So very tight competition and not that many teams advancing to the playoffs. Here are today's matchups. Again, pQq versus Invincible Armada, that premier match to kick things off.
Yeah, very, very big. Gangstars has a lot of good things to say about the members of pQq, especially Druid. And then we're going to get to see Gangstars up against Beyond in that second match. And going into match number 3 of the night is going to be Hunters versus Hack, the only team that has lost so far.
That we will be seeing today. And pQq, they came in, they made a switch after the qualifiers. Goodbye moving to that substitute position, and Mauloa taking over for him. Invincible Armada still running that same roster that won the Worldwide Invitational.
Yeah, no reason not to. Only having 3 members on that team. They've looked so solid as a team together. Their teamwork is pretty unbelievable as well. Another thing to mention in this game, you really do need to stick together as 3. We see some of the weaker teams going as 2, and then the laner's kind of doing whatever he wants. But from the best teams, usually they're sticking together, and teamwork is a big factor.
That's right. So let's take a look at our first team of the evening. It will be pQq. Dominant 15-minute win in their first outing. Druid had about 180 CS in 15 minutes. Just ridiculous. His Vox was doing an insane amount of damage thanks to all the items he has. We will be starting at the end here with Mauloa, who won the man of the match for the first one. He is actually a professional model.
Yes. We don't know exactly what he models, if he's just a straight-up model. Maybe he's a hand model. We were talking about this before because he's a mobile games player.
I like his eyebrows.
Yeah, very shapely.
Very shapely.
You can tell he puts a lot of work into that. That's always good. You got to look good.
Yeah, playing that Adagio in their last win. We move on, of course, over here to Rain, who played Krull, interestingly enough, and played it without giving up a single death during that match. It's hard to tell with pQq because their victory was so dominant. They basically encountered such little resistance that we're going to get a lot better measure of this team up against Invincible Armada tonight.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see if that Krull pick was a one-time thing here in this league against one of the weaker teams that they knew was weaker. The scene is not that gigantic in Korea. I'm sure those guys play against each other quite often. But we'll see if he picks them tonight.
And here is Druid, who had such an outstanding performance. He obviously very mechanically skilled in terms of his ability to last hit, but putting the pressure on the map at the right times. And we're going to take a look at some of his Vox play as he comes into these fights. And you can see him just making sure he lines up the Resonance, gets a lot of those bouncing shots, playing very aggressively in the middle of the enemy team.
We're going to be doing this for one player out of each of the teams here tonight, guys. So getting a closer look here at Druid. His play is just pretty unbelievable on Vox. Would not be surprised to see him do it once again tonight.
Yeah, and just taking a look at his animation canceling there, he really knows how to use that attack speed build to maximum efficiency. And that was at the end of that game. 13 minutes in, he is basically 1v3ing the enemy team.
I'm glad you point that out because it looks super powerful. It looks like Vox is actually OP, but they were very far ahead. What you really need to take from that is that this guy is quite good at his mechanics. I think the laning position out of anything else probably requires the most. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, just because you have to, especially on some of these attack speed builds, you have to be very fast to get the optimal animation canceling in. And of course, on the other side, we will see the defending champions here in Korea, Invincible Armada. Yeah. And their first match, they were up against Unknown. Invincible Armada is an interesting team because they play so well from behind. And they often make some early game mistakes, give up kills, but their macro play and their ability to just put pressure on the map later often gets them the win. And we do have Ruin here on the end, a Rome player. Played Catherine in the first match. I like their new Invincible Armada hats.
That's really cool. Ruin, unfortunately, the only one wearing it tonight. But here is the jungle player. It is Wine.
Now, Wine actually busted out a jungle jewel in their last match, and that was quite powerful, actually. Going for a crystal power build, so he gets a lot of damage off of the big red button. Yeah, as we're seeing here.
Look at how sick this is.
This is a very interesting match because Bayou was playing a weapon power jewel versus the blue jewel on the side of Invincible Armada. And there you go. Here's a nice ult coming through.
One shot, 3 kills. At least it lines up these 3 kills. And pretty much winning the fight for him there. And you can see the 400 damage rocket leap coming out as well. Rocket jump.
And that's really what I liked about his jewel play, was how he would use the rocket leap to actually set up his positioning for the ultimate. Wasn't really using it all that often for the stun, just as a reposition tool during team fights. And there is Sangho coming off a Ringo performance.
Yeah.
Didn't do too well individually, but he did take home that win.
It's kind of funny, though. They do call him like one of the best laners in Korea by a lot of the Korean pros. In comparison to LoL, it says the faker of Vainglory. We haven't seen that performance just yet. I think the unknown laner did a bit better in that game, but he's definitely another one of these laners that definitely shines quite nicely for his team.
Yeah, exciting stuff. So this is definitely a very heated match. It seems like whoever wins tonight will probably exit the group in first place. and it will be a bitter battle. This is definitely, Group A is, I think, definitely looking like the hardest group in this tournament.
Group of death, you might say. Group B is also quite strong as well. And I think they were saying it before, but I've done it in my head. I think this actually does secure your spot for the semifinals. Because even if you do lose that last game, this team that they're facing today is going to be their main competition that might be, fighting for first place. So if you defeat them through that head-to-head tiebreaker, they should get first.
Yeah, absolutely. So big game on the line. And we are about to get into picks and bans here. Game 1, so let's get into it. Group A, pQq versus Invincible Armada. And bans pQq banning out Ringo, and Invincible Armada taking out the Celeste. So quick lock-ins, Taka actually coming in for Rain here.
Yeah, Taka being nerfed slightly in that last patch, but still very, very strong. A nice offensive jungler there. And we do see Vox for Druid once again. That does not surprise me at all.
Well, I mean, they had 2 lane bans, Ringo and Celeste, in this particular game, so that does limit your options when it comes to these laners. Possibly seeing a Scarf could definitely be an option. As
I've been loving Scarf, man. I play him all day long. He's so fun. How strong he is, or she is in the pro scene, we have yet to really see. No incredible Scarf performances coming out just yet in this tournament.
That's right, so it's like Invincible Armada taking quite a bit of time to lock in their picks here. And it will be, looks like a Scarf, a Petal on the roam. Very interesting.
There we go. See how that's going to work out for them here. Let's jump into game number 1 now.
Well, this is quite curious. To play a roam Petal in such an important game does make you wonder a little bit, Valdez. It does make you wonder.
It really does. Now, I can't remember exactly who it was, but one of the players from Unknown was talking about this. We were talking to him after the last matches we had last week, and he was saying about how Petal is kind of that unseen, unknown OP hero so far. So I really want to see how it does in what we've touted as one of the most competitive matches so far. It's a huge pick.
Yeah, and they are playing it as jungle. Looks like Wine coming in with the Iron Guard contract, and now we are going to have a little bit of action down here in the bottom side as Druid comes down to support the laner. Knockback on the afterburn will put Rain in a bit of trouble, but he does get out with the pQq. Can they take out Wine? Very quickly they can. First kill of the game going to pQq. Now they're still fighting it right here. Songho trying to kite this one out. Scout Trap is down, and Rain low. Will Petal get the kill? No, pQq going invisible for that escape.
Oh, and he's going for the kill.
Gets the kill with the chitin on the re-engage. Maloa will fall. So 2 for 1 in favor of pQq.
Wow, what a really extended fight. Invincible Armada not backing off even after losing one of their players very, very fast. I believe that was Wine who actually went down to the Taka there. But both Songho and Rune doing a ton of damage. Petal very early on, getting those 3 Bramble Munions, doing a ton of damage over time, and will really shine in those long extended fights, so you can tell why they wanted to stay there.
Yeah, very interesting stuff, and it looks like a pretty standard build so far. Of course, Druid and Songho both on that. Vox will be picking up some attack speed just to make sure they can maximize the number of kind of bouncing autos that you get off of the resonance from Vox during these team fights.
Just farming up once again. Songho looking to join with his team here, whereas pQq for now a bit split up. That Vox going into the lane. He doesn't want to get caught out here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Invincible Armada does have, trying to make a strong push on the middle of the map right now, and they do have just an incredible amount of AoE damage between Vox and Petal. It's all about that spontaneous combustion. When you get your pets in there and they all start detonating, and while pQq has a little bit of better pick pressure right here, able to assassinate people with that Taka very quickly. You see that harass from the Munions coming in right there.
It's kind of one interesting thing, both Petal and Vox, not the most, tankiest heroes in the game, but having that glaive there as well is going to be fantastic for protecting the both of them. Just using that afterburn for some ganks, but even as a defensive tool as well, knocking back a Taka that's running onto one of those two guys. Of course, Vox, he does have that Sonic Zoom, so he's not going to be kind of as much of a sitting duck as Petal might be in some of these fights.
Yeah, you can see how, too, Invincible Armada ran up into that lane, quickly pushed that minion wave, and then went through to clear out their opponent's jungle once they got control past that 50-yard line in the middle of the map. So it is all about pushing that wave, timing your invades around that, that kind of defines the professional level of play here in Vainglory.
It's part of the reasons I really like Scarf. He can really push a lane super fast. A lot of those Crystal Power heroes in the mid lane or rather in the lane, can just do a great job of clearing that wave.
All right, so we'll be checking with the pQq. Again, if you guys don't know Taka, he is invisible when he's inside the box or the basket, depending on his skin, which empty container he decides to inhabit.
That's why you do see a bunch of flares being picked up actually by Invincible Armada. You can spot the Taka if he does go invisible with that.
Okay, they may be going in right now, and there's Taka initiated on Songho. Songho has to get away. Gift Fire's already down on him, but they're just going to retreat into this brush, playing around with vision. There's the Afterburn, knocking Druid in, and there's a kill for Invincible Armada. They fell behind early, but now they're catching back up, and wow, looks like Songho just going to walk by himself when he has no idea where Taka is. Bit of an error right there.
Yeah, he should have been running with his teammates, especially with the Taka on the enemy team. That's not a position you want to be in, but really nice map awareness as well from Rain from pQq to pick up that kill. Not just backing off after losing the team fight. Also, I feel like, Druid, as I said before on that Vox, able to get that Sonic Zoom off, but against the glaive, you have to be so careful with your positioning. You can't just be sitting in there, especially if they spotted you with the flare. You just have to be very aware of how much the enemy knows about your positioning and just back off just a bit.
Yeah, Glaive definitely one of the best engaging heroes in the game at the moment. Does fulfill that primary engage role very, very nicely. And that's why we see him banned out quite frequently. Flare in the brush. And that means that Invincible Armada will be pushing forward into the enemy tri-brush once again. They are going to go after the gold miner right now. And pQq not going to respond, instead sitting with 3 in that lane. There we go, Rain gonna get caught out a little bit in the brush. Maloa try and get the Gift Fire down, but he's getting very low, and Songho's gonna go in for the kill, but can he survive afterwards? Taka's on top of him, and he will just get invisible and get out of there. Rain nearly dies to Wine, but Vox able to save him right there, discourage any further pursuit.
Yeah, just a nice kill pick up there after getting that gold miner as well. That was just a really nice job done by Invincible Armada. They had total control of all the vision around both tri-bushes, with that Petal, of course, planting both the seeds. Everywhere you can get vision with that as well, but so many scout traps being picked up by Wine. He's doing an incredible job on that vision control so far. And, pQq, they just didn't have vision of the gold miner. They can jump on that immediately, and there was pretty much nothing they could do.
And Petal really is about that setup time, too. You're talking about the seeds, but they give healing and armor if you plant them down. So if you have time to start setting them up where you want to fight, that really does help give that aura so that your team can have that much more sustainability in a team fight.
That's a very good point. Also want to point out that both Songho and Ruin had picked up infusions. Crystal for Songho, weapon for Ruin. Before that fight, so really nice timing to pick those up right before that gold miner was getting to a crucial point and building up a lot of gold there.
Okay, Invincible Armada going back in again, and there comes Taka. Wine falling very low, have to afterburn his way out, but Druid's on the flank. He is going to finish up that kill with the Sonic Zoom. Aloha now just running some interference. There's the Petal ultimate. It does so much damage if you get caught in that thing, and they will trade, but in the end, pQq coming up with more kills.
Yeah, they get more kills. At least Songho's going to be able to take some of this jungle here. Songho, that time, not being with his team, not in the best position, was just pushing the lane. Let's take a look at this replay.
Yeah, Ruin coming in right here on top, and that having to use that afterburn to get away is very problematic. It's not that hard for the Vox to just chase him down with that Sonic Zoom. But look at the damage from that spontaneous combustion.
Yeah. Just that and really nice animation canceling there from Ruin. We see him oftentimes in that roam position, but he knows what he's doing in every position. His jungle petal has been on point tonight.
It certainly has. Well, Invincible Armada making a move once again here into the enemy Tri-Brush. They are going to get caught out. Rain's going to deal some additional damage and has to back off nearly immediately. Afterburn onto the side, but you know, that Glaive not doing a lot of damage, and there's a nice ultimate coming in from Songho. One down already, but they're so low. And they do end up trading 2 for 2, but look at this, the chase still on. The Munions are hungry.
The damage from Petal is out of control, man. I've never seen this work this well. Ruin is just owning this game up so far. Really doing a nice job peeling for his Vox in that fight, not allowing, I think it was Druid on the Vox at pQq to pick up an easy free kill there. And just overall, a really nice job done.
So Petal, and having the presence right there, because Petal still had a lot of HP while chasing off Maloa, means that they are able to capture the minion mine. And okay, gold mine getting low. Who's going to take out? Looks like the payout collected by pQq. Now they're going to get knocked back. Wine on the pursuit. Maloa trying to kite. He's not going to make it out. Oh man, so pQq low, they take a risk to get that mine, but the reason why that minion mine was taken right then was they were hoping, Invincible Armada was hoping to be able just to push the lane and deny the minion mine while getting that payout. But it comes at a price. They will trade it for at least 1 turret. If they do 2, that's a 250 gold for pQq, but 300 plus 300 for the 2 turrets, so 600 for Invincible Armada.
For every single player on that team, keep in mind. So that's a huge amount of gold, and now you can see pQq trying to engage once again.
There you go. Ruin just going to have to run back. pQq, they have the damage to get the ace. And so, can they come back, start to take some of these turrets and even up that trade? It's been really back and forth.
Yeah, I still feel like Invincible Armada doing a very, ahead of this game so far, but this ace is definitely going to bring pQq right back into this game. At least just going to pick up 1 turret here. And getting that gold lead to only 1.4k now.
Well, and this is such a good opportunity for pQq because you can see the number of scout traps that are already down for Invincible Armada, and they need to start clearing those out. That's what they do. They finally make a circuit. pQq's been pretty much bottled up in their own jungle for most of the game. Most of the successful invading has been done by Invincible Armada so far. Those cherries on the minion binder, meaning that it has been given a minion candy, making it stronger if Invincible Armada chooses to attack it.
Yeah. It's not even at that halfway point just yet, but it's very nice to put it up now because they want to, link it up. Buy one now for 60 seconds, buy another one because they want to keep it and try to get back into this game with at least 1 secure gold mine there for 300 for each of their players. So we'll see if Invincible Armada is still going to go for it. Keep in mind this gold mine is very strong, but pQq not in a great position.
Okay, they're going to come on through, but they are denied. There was an ultimate thrown out there by Songho just to zone them out. And here we go. Rain knows there's no ult down. He will Kaku out of that fight, get out, but they're still going to die. The damage from the Petal is just huge right now, going for the flat weapon power with the Sorrow Blade and that weapon infusion popping that right before the fight.
Yeah. Pretty incredible plays so far in this game out of Ruin. And, I feel like once again pQq kind of getting frustrated from losing that gold man, trying to go in and force a fight there. You saw the Taka dive in really deep, try to go for that Petal, but it didn't quite work out. Yep. This is once again going to give Invincible Armada total control over the entire jungle.
I really feel that Invincible Armada came in here with a very good strategy because it's what we saw from pQq last time is if you just let Druid farm, and if we look at the laners right now, it's 110 minions to 85. He has a large CS lead, but if you just let Druid farm in lane, that's how pQq wants to play. And instead, Invincible Armada has just been invading this entire time, playing really aggressively, even right from the very beginning of this game.
Yeah, I said it before, both Glaive and Petal, incredibly strong early game heroes. They've been using that to their advantage, keeping that Vox for a bit of the later game potential in this game. And now you can see once again just pushing that in to this turret over here, doing a ton of poke damage as well to Rain, almost already near half health.
Invincible Armada just having free run of the map right now, keeping pQq in their own base at this stage, and doesn't really look like pQq may be able to come back from this one. Sure, the gold lead's not overwhelming, but they just kind of have to turtle right now as best they can and try and get some of these minions. But there we go, Rain gonna get caught out on this side. Does he have time to get out? No, he does not. Burst of Judgment goes down, will stun Wine, but there's just too much damage from Invincible Armada. They can't stick around. pQq has nobody really to tank all of that auto attack damage from the minions and from Ruin.
Yeah. Invincible Armada does have to be careful. They are all pretty low, as well as Petal getting low on that energy, but they are just gonna take one turret and back right off. And not much that pQq could do about it there. We're going to take a look at a replay.
Yeah, the scout trap catching Rain early, Wine just initiating, and even though the stun does come through from the Adagio ultimate onto Wine, he's still going to escape, and there's just nothing they can do to finish up those kills.
Both ultimates actually landed there. The one from Druid, the wait for it, actually hit all three, but it just wasn't enough. They are so far ahead that at this point, Invincible Armada is. And now, once again, just waiting here, possibly for that Kraken spawn. We're getting close to 15 minutes. I think pQq is going to back off by and then go straight for it. They know that timing is coming up here.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult, though. They don't have any kind of vision around the Kraken spawn point at the moment. They're trying to get out of the base right now and head down, but they're going to find Wine. Now, can they do anything about it? Wine going to take a huge amount of damage. There we go. Ruin going to come in. He's going to Kaku back out, try and get onto Petal, and they managed to secure a very important kill. So not enough vision. Now, Sango trying to kite this one out, but here comes the Taka. Oh, very low, gets a shield at the last possible second, and they are going to pick up the kill onto Glaive with the Vox. Sango has to be a bit of a hero right now if he wants to delay this Kraken.
He really does have to, but Vox, once again, one of the best heroes at fighting 1v3, 1v2. He can really line it up, especially if he can get the cooldown back on his wait for it. But it looks like pQq going to play it very safe here. They know the potential from Sangho. They're just going to back off and regen their health.
Well, they were low, and Petal was already back up, so you have to be very concerned about the possibility of that big AoE from all of her pets exploding. And so they're going to just take that team fight win, hope that it gets it back in the game. Gets it back in the game enough, I should say. Okay, here we go again. Another fight, constant fighting. There's the ultimate coming in from Adagio. Nice couple of stuns, but he dies instantly afterward. Druid dueling with Sango on the backside. Rain is getting on top of Ruin, and there you go. There's the finisher on the kill for Taka. Wine trying to run away right now. Druid doesn't have a lot of mana to pursue this, and that means Wine is going to get out with an afterburn.
You know, this might be an opportunity here for pQq to pick up this Kraken, unless Wine can pull off a miracle. Both these guys are pretty low, but they're still going to go for it.
Risky for sure. They're going to kite it around, do a good job of not taking too much damage on it, and looks like they will be able to finish it.
Just barely here. Getting that buff, they will regen that health and energy. Now they can actually kind of gain a foothold in this game. This is the first time they've taken a big major objective like this, outside of that one gold mine a bit earlier on, and they can finally get a push going here.
They have to, Invincible Armada not being perhaps as cautious as they should, didn't have the vision to be pushing that far forward, and so now they have given up the Kraken. That said, if this defense goes through, Invincible Armada certainly has the damage to deal with this. You can see pets starting to go down right there for Ruin. They will get a very large amount of gold from killing this Kraken. They're working their way through it right now, and that means pQq really has to make it worthwhile. They need to get a few turrets to equal the Kraken gold. Otherwise, it's really more of an advantage for pQq, or Invincible Armada rather, as they go in. Wine getting low. The turret dive is maybe working out. Druid just barely escaping with his life. Maloa not going to find much. They get one turret, but that's it.
Yeah, really nicely held.
Yeah, the gold is going to go in the advantage of Invincible Armada right here.
That was just a great hold. None of them died. They all just backed off very nicely there. pQq not able to take any kills in that fight, and both Taka and Vox getting very low, so they just had to back off. And like you said, not the best trade here for pQq, in fact.
Yeah, the Kraken is worth 500 gold when you kill it, so the turret being only worth 300. Sometimes taking that Kraken is not the best idea because you can actually dig yourself further into a hole from time to time.
I gotta wonder, I haven't myself played too much Petal, but I have to imagine she's quite good at taking down that Kraken pretty fast.
I think so. Well, here we go. Adagio ult comes through, but no stuns hit. Invincible Armada is able to get out of there. Druid right in the middle right now doing a huge amount of damage, and actually Ruin getting very low, uses his boots, but he's not going to get away from this one. Rain just getting him down with those auto attacks. pQq for the speed boost, and he's going to be heading in. Now, how much can they get?
That was an incredible amount of damage. I think most of that came out of Druid as well. You were talking about it before. He is so highly farmed up at this point. 175 minions have been killed compared to the 107 of Sangho. They have a huge lead here. I think they may just go for it.
They're just going to finish the game right now. 7 seconds left. pQq just going to take this one down, and that is thanks to Druid just going all in that team fight. Insane mechanics on that box, and that'll be a win for pQq. Wow. Very exciting back and forth game.
That, man, I want to see the replay of that fight. They were not joking about this guy, Druid. You can see him shaking his hand. Imagine how many mechanics had to go into that entire team fight.
Man, that was really impressive. For him to know his limits like that and get right in the middle of that team fight, getting all the burst down and the multiple bouncing auto attacks. For those of you guys who don't know, when Vox hits somebody with the resonance with the pulse, his autos will start splitting up and bouncing into more targets.
See pQq going over and shaking the hands of Invincible Armada. That was a very well-deserved win, I have to say. A lot of it thanks to Druid for sure. His play was quite fantastic, but they were very far behind. They weren't out of the game, but just a couple of key team fights brought them back into that one.
And also, Invincible Armada getting picked off from time to time. You have to take care when there's an assassin like the Taka in the game that you stay grouped so you don't deal with a situation where you can't handle it. You have to maintain that vision control. Of course, the scout traps can see him while he's invisible.
I think there was only one fight where Rain, I think, went too far. But besides that, he did a very nice job of assassinating the right targets.
Yeah, here we go. He will be, in fact, the man of the match, playing that Taka. And he knew how to get in and then use that Kaku effectively to get out and then chase down runners from the enemy team and start to clean up those team fights, in addition to really being the primary initiation tool on his team.
Yeah. Druid just overall, I'd say, the more sustained damage throughout the entire game. That last team fight as well was very flashy, but do have to give it up for Rain. His Taka play was some of the best I've ever seen.
And we are going to go into a man of the match interview with Jae-Song here to translate. Take it away.
Thanks, Monty and Brandon. We're meeting today again from pQq Rain, who played Taka. So, hello. So 2 teams have met in the Amateur League East Asian tournament and were the 2 finalists. You guys met again. How do you guys feel? It was kind of scary. I was very nervous. How did you beat that nervousness? He's saying that Druid is a very good leader, and he kind of led us team, and then it made us more, calm down. On the Vox ult, Taka ult, they were doing tons of damage. How did you guys? In the East Asian in the East Asian tournament, you also used Taka. Is there a way to play Taka better, like using the experience you had before? Taka is my #1 pick. It's the pick that I'm most confident with. It's the one that I play the most. So it was your... yeah, I play Taka jungle a lot, so... the opposing team was using Petal, so it wasn't very hard. It was very hard to go against it, but, I pulled out in the end. This is your 2nd win, right? You guys so now in a better position to make it to the semifinals. How do you feel? I feel really great. Yeah, so anything you want to say on going forward? Since we beat Invincible Armada, we don't plan on losing anymore. So we're going to be the winners of this tournament and winners of this match. Please give a big round of applause. And then back to you, Monty and Brandon.
Thank you very much for the translation. And I was thinking about that match. Invincible Armada really did take the minion mines quite early, and the turtling from pQq, when you get so much more golden experience from those buffed minions, they may have been able to get back into it as a result. Coming up, we do have Gangstars from North America against Beyond, so should be another very good game, 2 winners.